Hey guys, Dislitter Magic here, and some more Amonkhet spoilers have come out, and these are like legit actual in the set spoilers, not like the last couple. Well, depending upon how you look at it and who you ask about who leaked what and when and why. So, first up, and I'm being told by the comment section this is not a new card, and I'm crazy for not having heard of it. Avon Mind Sensor. It costs 3 and it's a 2/1, so it's very blow upable. Nothing, no pro red, nothing. It does have flash, which is hilarious because, well, once you read what it does, that's just funny to me. It is flying, so 2 damage in the air. I mean, you can never turn that down. The artwork's totally freaking epic. And it states, if an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of that library instead. I can't think of a whole lot that's relevant with right now in Standard. The funny thing is, it just shuts down fetch lands. They're just gone. I mean, your odds of pulling a matching on-color basic land in some decks in, like, Modern is kind of good, but the fact that you might outright lose a land, oh boy. By the way, Disallow also kills fetch lands. They just sack it and then nothing happens. They don't even get to search. There's also like Stifle, which does the same thing. So I think this is very utility, very good, but there's only 4 of it in a deck, which means I think the universal law is by turn 8 you have a 45% chance of pulling it, or 65 or something like that. I forget if it's turn 8 or turn 0. I forget which one I keep using. But it's not high, it's not reliable, it's a coin flip. So if you're like, yes, now I have shut them down now that I put Avon Mind Sensor in my deck. No, probably every other game you've shut them down, and that's if they can't harness lightning it. So, yeah, not very good. I think people are kind of overstating the importance of this card. Now, the next one, though, not so much. We are looking at Prowling Serpopard. And Twitter is very educational today. Apparently a Serpopard is a thing. It's like a serpent leopard, I guess. It's some kind of cat with a giant long neck. Honestly, probably just a giraffe that people had trouble drawing. Fun fact, don't know if you knew this or not, but ancient peoples were really stupid. You should see what they called like hippos and stuff, and like rhinos. I think rhinos were the origination of unicorns. Oh, it's a pony. It must just be a hairless and fat one. But it's definitely a pony with a horn. I mean, come on. I'm a professional. All right, this one's already well off the rails, so I gotta mention this one too. This is gonna shock you. This is like educational hour right now on my channel. Until 1902, almost everybody in the world thought that gorillas were a myth. They thought gorillas didn't exist. When people traveled to, where the hell they live? I don't know, Africa? Some jungle somewhere, I don't know. I think they're in Indonesia. But when people traveled there and they're like, oh look, a giant, kind of human-looking, black-haired, weird monkey thing. By the way, monkeys have tails, apes don't. That's the difference. Boom, so much education. So yes, up until 1902, when somebody literally brought one back for a circus act or something like that, I probably should have looked this up first. Yeah, they thought that they were a myth. They're like, no, that's a complete and utter manufactured fantasy. So yes, a Serpopard is probably just a giraffe, and Egyptians are idiots. Although, didn't giraffes live right down the street from Egypt? Who knows? Anyway, apparently this artwork doesn't match a Serpopard. I can't talk. Anyway, it doesn't look a thing like it. People are posting ancient vases and crap on Twitter, this is a Serpopard, that's not a Serpopard. You got this completely non-existent creature wrong. That's probably a giraffe anyway. Or it's probably a ferret or something. Like I said, people are dumb as hell back in the olden times. So the important part about the Serpopard is that it's a cat snake. Just kidding. That's just my favorite part. It can't be countered. There you go. A 4/3 power. It costs 3. And it can't be countered. I mean, this is like a miniature Gaia's Revenge. Actually, I don't remember if that couldn't be countered. I know it couldn't be blown up by anything but green spells, so hello. Also, creature spells you control can't be countered. Yes, we needed this. Although, I mean, is red, white, blue draw, which is the #1 menace in the world right now with Anticipate, Glimmer, maybe other card draw, maybe an infinite cat combo, maybe not, maybe just spot removal. Are they just going to fall apart because they're, I want to say cancel. I don't think cancel's even legal right now. Whatever, their counterspell, their creature canceling counterspell if it doesn't work. Probably not. They'll just blow up the creature when it comes out. I mean, white exile and red harness lightning. And I've seen other stuff too. I don't remember what it was, but it was a really damaging red spell. Hell, I mean, if you start coming at them with flyers, they just get out like Tears of Valakut. I'm pretty sure that's still legal. Seriously, every one of you should be running Tears of Valakut in a red sideboard. That card is insane, and it's very underappreciated. So this is what Standard badly needed, but I don't think it's good enough. We're going to need a mass hexproof creature, and historically, in at least the history of Modern, I don't think there's a card that gives mass hexproof for under like 5 mana. I know Archetype was like 8, and I think there was like Witch's Orb or Bane or something. I don't remember what the hell it was, but it costs a bit. You really do need cannot be countered, cannot be targeted, and then that combo is overpowered as hell, and that deck would just dominate. So nothing I see so far can stop the top 2 decks. That's a little bit of a problem. We would need a flying, like, 1/1 Death Toucher. That would really help because it would shut down all the flying vehicles and the super fast decks. And in fact, we need 2 of them. And that's the problem with all of these. Like I said, you need 2 of them. You need 8 cards in your deck, not 4. 4 isn't good enough. 50% is not good enough. So let's keep looking. I, as is the norm, have not read these yet. Renewed Faith. It's a white instant for 3. Pretty cool artwork. I like that cat god looking thing. That's pretty awesome. Everybody loves cats. Come on. You gain 6 life, cycling 2. Ooh, not bad. Whenever you cycle Renewed Faith, so it refers to itself as cycling. That's not bad. You may gain 2 life. So, little trade-off. That's not bad. I mean, you're drawing a card blind. It's not like, what is that? It's like that alchemical term where you go and get whatever card you want as long as it matches the cost. That mechanic better never be printed again. That is some overpowered garbage. God, I can't think of it. I don't think it's polymorph. Oh, I think it's transmute. That's what it was. So transmute is like, pay 3, ditch it, and go get another card out of your library of your choice that costs 3. So basically, instead of running 1 of a card, you're running 2 minus the transmute cost. So you just lose a turn. Way too consistent, way too good of fetch, and way too cheap of fetch. So cycling, where it's like, yeah, it almost always causes a trigger. Like, I just cycled something, give me my cycle trigger. You are drawing blind, and you're only getting 1 card out of it. So honestly, Anticipate and Glimmer are better than cycling. Those cards are unstoppable. Whenever I can outdraw you 2-1 with my deck, I'm going to win. So this does just look kind of neat, but I don't think it'll be the hottest card ever. 6 life for 3 mana is not bad though. And then, I don't know, you might maybe have a new target for Torrential and a new game type, or deck type, not game type. Although I'd suggest you find a different game type than Standard. Next up, we've got some more masterpieces, invocations that they're called in this specific block. We got Spell Pierce. Could have sworn I just saw this. In fact, I just pulled 8 of them out of my bulk. Yeah, it costs 1. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Basically an unreliable garbage version of Dispel. I mean, okay, this catches enchantments and artifacts. Whoop-de-flippin'-do. People who play this in Modern tend to sideboard it out very, very, very often, and then half the time they're wrong and they just haven't seen the cards that it's relevant to in the opponent's deck. When it comes to counterspells, I use the Universal Desolator's Law of Counterspells, which is pay 1 more mana and make it actually work. Make it actually be reliable. You don't want something that works some of the time, or 70% of the time, or 30% of the time. You want to be able to counter it 100% of the time. So you better be really damn confident in your psychic barriers, your negates, your dispels, all that. And I'm not afraid to mainboard Dispel if I know that people at my LGS are running instants in every single deck. I hate Glimmer and Anticipate that much I mainboard Dispel. So I have no idea if they mean to imply that Spell Pierce will be legal in Standard. If it is, ooh, there goes Glimmer and Anticipate. Maybe if you mix this with Dispel, maybe. I mean, they probably have the mana open. That's the problem. There's such damn cheap spells. And that's why this is just like Mana Leak. Past like turn 6, it's unreliable. They're just going to pay it. Next up, in keeping with the amazing blue abilities, we got Stifle. Oh my god, is this card powerful. For 1 blue mana as an instant, obviously, counter target activated or triggered ability. Now, Stifle is so powerful in Modern, even though I've personally never seen anybody other than me play it. It's about $5 to like $7 to $8 a card right now. So, yeah, this could be one of the more expensive masterpieces, kind of. Now, there's one little beef that I have with this card. I will say it's a better version of Squelch because, well, one, it costs one, and two, Squelch says counter target activated ability, but not triggered ability, and then draw a card. So, I mean, that's huge, but, you know, it's about $1 a card. I mean, it's not exactly famous, but both of those are garbage versions of Trickbind. Trickbind is the mother of all blue spells. As an instant, 4/2, so yeah, it costs 2. Split second, so nothing else can be placed upon or above it on the stack. So in other words, it basically can't be countered by natural means. Actually, yeah, spells or activated abilities that aren't mana abilities can't be put on the stack above it. So there you go. But anyway, counter target activated or triggered ability. If a permanent's ability is countered this way, activated abilities of that permanent can't be played this turn. Mana abilities can't be targeted. They have some like unhealthy obsession with mana abilities and letting them go off. I don't know why. Screw them. I don't want my opponent to have more mana. I'm blue, damn it. I tell you what you can do. So I really wish it was Trickbind. Trickbind is just a better card. It's strangely only about $5 or $6. I really don't know why people would play Stifle above it other than, I don't know, not jamming it until end of turn. I mean, they're arguably about equal in power, but shutting down an ability for the entire rest of the turn and then making sure that Trickbind basically can't be countered, it's probably worth the additional mana, but in Modern, that's debatable. I personally just like Trickbind better, and the artwork's way cooler. So, honestly, the artwork doesn't deserve to be put on that god-awful card frame, so maybe they did make the right decision. So next up, we got a bit of a weird one. It's a little bit less specific than I thought, but it's Containment Priest. So it's a 2/2 with flash for 2. You better be happy with that because this is not the most likely scenario to go off. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. So it won't stop anything with like suspend, because that is considered casting it. But basically anything else, any kind of return it from the graveyard to the battlefield or, you know, whip a Varabos, you just flash this in and ta-da. And then it's not just like, oh, I flashed it in, here's the instant effect. It's like until this leaves the battlefield, non-token creatures cannot enter the battlefield. If they try to, they are exiled. So very, very, very powerful, good sideboard card. And if you had to mainboard it, I mean, you've got a 2/2 with flash for 2. You could ambush double block. Or I suppose ambush single block, but come on, it's a 2/2. This absolutely shuts down decks that are just broken as hell. Solely because of that, I want 4 copies of it. I actually want about 8 copies of it just in case, because I like shutting down broken decks, and broken decks bring out crap onto the battlefield without paying for it. I equate that to like grabbing jewelry and putting it in your pocket without paying for it, okay? It breaks the rules. Next up, we've got another subpar second-rate piece of garbage, Divert. Change the target of, I can't read this damn font. Change the target of target spell with a single target unless that spell's controller pays 2. So once again, past about turn 6, it's useless. They're just going to pay the 2. I mean, unless they really maxed out a big honkin' spell or some kind of X spell. I mean, there's still a little utility there. But like I said, I don't like unreliable blue counter spells. I don't like them one bit. This is a garbage version of Redirect. The end. I don't care what anybody says. Redirect for 1 more mana says that they can't pay their way out of it under any circumstances, and if it has multiple targets, you can change all of them, some of them, or none of them if you want to be weird. Redirect is so much better than this. If you say, oh no, but what if I only have 1 mana open? Then you played incorrectly, okay? That's not how blue plays. You leave a boatload of mana open and just ruin all their hopes and dreams. So not happy about this at all. It's right up there with Counterbalance. It's just an unreliable bad card that's only used in very specific circumstances. I would have much, much, much rather seen a lot more famous blue cards, although I think one of them is like Force of Will, so, you know, they hit a couple out of the park. Oh, and Pact of Negation too, but that card's not really good outside of Vintage and Legacy. And finally, the last masterpiece is, what the hell does that say? It looks like Austere Command? I don't even know what that word means. I don't know, it must be the white command card, I guess, whatever. Big old cat archer firing crap at you, that's what I'm going to call it. So choose 2, as is the norm for commands, and it costs way the hell too much mana, and people still think it's good even though it's a sorcery, as is the norm for commands. Destroy all artifacts. That'd be fun. Destroy all enchantments. Hello. Destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. Destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Ooh. That is like really powerful. Dude, this is like Game Show Sphinx all over again, except you're not making your opponent pick the mana cost. I could see this being good in like a super ramp deck where you just, everything in your deck costs, we'll say 4 or greater, and it's all like ramp, and then this is one of the cards, and then you run some big angels, run like Gisela and her friend that she melds with, Bruna. That would be a fun deck, except you would get just shredded by the top 2 decks right now. Hey, if you have a deck idea, it's going to get shredded by the top 2 decks right now. Hey, come up with a different idea that's even better. Sorry, but it's going to get shredded by the top 2 decks right now. Oh, you want to play standard Magic at all? Sorry, but it's going to get shredded and ruined and just utterly unplayable because of the top 2 decks right now. They damn well better ban something, and I mean fast. I don't even know when the next ban cycle is. I think it's like a week or 2 after the Pro Tour or something. I don't know. So we got quite a bit here, but yeah. Standard is pretty much unplayable no matter what they put in Amonkhet, so I really don't care about anything I've seen so far. What we really needed was like, God, I hate to say it, but infinite obliteration, but cheaper. That would utterly ruin Modern, and it's not a friendly thing to do. Like, I'm going to pick up your whole library, look at it, take notes on it, which I can legally do, find all your cards, and ruin your win condition with like 1 card for 3 mana. It's so unfriendly. I wish they'd never print another card like that. But then again, Lost Legacy is the only way to shut down Anticipate and Glimmer, and it can only choose 1. So the final thing I gotta say is the 1 card I have to see in Amonkhet is Meddling Mage. We need Meddling Mage so freaking bad you guys don't even know. We honestly need it plus a functional reprint. I want to know what you're playing before I even sit down, because I just know you're that big of a net decking douchebag, and you're, well, I'd say too cheap to buy another deck, but I mean, you're a net decker. You just don't have more money to build more than 1 overpriced deck. And then just play this on turn 2 and be like, Torrential Gearhulk, and go to hell, by the way. That's what we need. We need named card jammers. There's so much more polite than library filters that just shouldn't even be a thing. Named card jammer is what we need. And this would be pretty fair because, you know, the red, white, blue draw deck could still, you know, sideboard out Torrential and put in another win condition. I guess they could put in, you know, the goblins maybe, and they could blow away Meddling Mage with, you know, one of their removal spells. So it's not the end of the world. So if I don't see Meddling Mage in this set, it's not looking good. And even then, 1 card can't save it. It would just be a big step in the right direction. In fact, you know what? Print Meddling Kids too. Reprint this and make it legal. So, as Meddling Kids comes into play, choose a word with 4 more letters. Non-land cards with the chosen word in their text box can't be played. So the word "the" is out. I mean, you'd have to really think. You'd have to think pretty damn hard. You know, artifact and types wouldn't work because they're not technically in the text box. And you know, it's actually on color. It's on color with Meddling Mage. They should legitimately print this damn card, even though it's from Unhinged. So what do you think? Should they print Meddling Mage? Should they print Meddling Kids? Or do you have enough of those at your LGS? And what do you think of the cards so far? Are you excited? Because if you are, you shouldn't be, because whatever the hell is getting you excited is not going to beat the top 2 decks right now. I'm not sure I mentioned that yet in the video, so I got to say it. So hopefully that just brightens up your day going into F&M day. Have fun at it, unless you still play Standard. I'll see you guys next video.